Hello everybody and welcome once again into IndySportsCrew.com. I'm Thad Van Evener, and tonight we're going to kick off a new feature that I'm going to be doing here on the website, and it's called the Monday Night Reaction, where we're going to take 24 hours away from each Colts game, and then I'm going to break it down with a little quick video and just give you my thoughts and opinions on what happened the day before. Gives me a little bit of time to take in all the statistics, all the information that I need, look at some injuries that could have happened, and give you an outlook on what happened in the game and maybe what's going to happen next week or in the future down the line as the season goes along. So in this first Monday Night Reaction, we've got to start off, let everybody know, if you didn't already know, the Colts lost at home to Jacksonville 22-17. Basically lost it all on one play. They did lose it all on one play. Blaine Gabbert hit Cecil Short III for an 80-yard touchdown pass with just 45 seconds to go in the game after the Colts had driven down the field and got a field goal by Adam Vinatieri to take the lead. This is a game that the Colts really should have won. You're at home. It's the first time the Colts have been favored to win a game since 2010, and you have the lead. You play very, very well in the first half, and you let this one slip away. You only scored 3 points in the second half. You have to improve on that, but above all else, you have to win this divisional game at home if you're going to be expected to grow as a team. I'm still on the bandwagon, and I'm still on record as saying that the Colts are only going to win 4, 5, 6 games this year. They're just only going to be that good this year. But this is a game, Jacksonville at home, a team that was 0-2. Yeah, they're hungry for a win, but that's a game you put a statement on things and say you're going to defend your home turf, you're going to beat your divisional foes, and you're going to progress and continue to grow as a team as the season moves along, as you move into the Andrew Luck era, the Chuck Pagano era, the Ryan Grigson era. That didn't get done. Let's look at a couple quick things. That final pass and losing the game, blame can go two different ways. Obviously on the defense, you can't let a guy behind you that late in the game when you know they have to score. I don't know who anyone else was thinking about this, but when it got down to it and the Colts are ahead by 1 point with only a minute to go or whatever, all I could think about was Josh Scobie on the sidelines for Jacksonville and how many times he's killed the Colts with 50-plus yard field goals to win the game. I was thinking, all I have to do is move the ball about 30, 35 yards, 40 yards, give this guy a chance, and he was going to end it for him. Next thing you know, snap, 80-yard touchdown pass down the field, and everyone in Lucas Oil Stadium was dead silent. It was a surprise. But you can't let a guy behind you like that. I hate the prevent defense, but you have to be smarter than that, and you can't let a guy split you down the middle of the field and get behind you. You just cannot let that happen in an NFL game. Blaine Gabbert made a heck of a throw. He'd struggled all day, but he came up big when he needed to. That was Short's only catch of the ball game, so you can't just say that he was the go-to guy and you need to pay more attention to him, so maybe they just let him slip by, but you just have to do a better job of keeping the wide receivers in front of you in that case. But here's another way I'm going to look at it, and this is the way I took it when I was watching the game. The offense has to take some blame here because they have to score more points. You only score 3 points in the second half. You're up 14-3 at halftime. You have 2 long scoring drives. Andrew looks great again in the 2-minute drill like he has all season long, but then you only muster 3 points in the second half. The NFL is much like the NBA now. As much points and as many points as teams are scoring in the NFL right now, everybody's going to make a run. It's just like the NBA. Every team's going to make a run, and the Colts didn't put enough distance between themselves and the Jaguars to weather that storm when Jacksonville made a run, and then Jacksonville got close, made one big play at the end to win it. Let's go to the offense and look at how we can break that down as a positive for the Colts this week. Andrew Luck goes for 313 yards passing, but that was on 46 attempts. You have to get better in the running game, but Andrew Luck looks really, really poised in the pocket. He didn't make any huge mistakes. He did throw an interception, but overall, he looks pretty good for a rookie. You have to admit that. He does look good for a rookie quarterback. Did throw over 300 yards. The rushing attack, yeah, they did rush for 124 yards in the game yesterday, and I've said that I feel like in the NFL today, to be consistent, you only have to rush for 75, 80, 85 yards in a game. Keep the defense honest, unless you're going to throw it 46 times like the Colts did yesterday. But in the 124 yards that the Colts ran for, 50 of that was Andrew Luck. 50 yards of that was Andrew Luck, getting out of the pocket, trying to buy some time. Everything breaks down. Everyone's guarded deep. and he just takes off and runs in big chunks. He ran for several plays of 10, 12, 15 yards, and those are good. That's positive yards. You can't negate that. You can't take that away. It's positive yardage for the team, but you got to do better rushing the ball in between the tackles, and they just haven't found that. Some of that's on the offensive line. We'll get to that in a little bit, but on offense, Luck does look good. The receiving core has been a very positive so far. I feel like Reggie Wayne, Donnie Avery have been really, really good in the first 3 games, so you cannot be disappointed in that. On the defensive side of the ball, they did let that one big mistake that we covered. The touchdown pass, 80-yard touchdown pass with 45 seconds to go. You just can't let that happen in a game like this, but let's take that, if you can, for 1 second, take that out of your mind. Take that one play out of your mind. The defense played pretty well. If you take that last play out of there, the defense played very, very well. They only allowed 253 total offense for the game if you take out that 80 yards. If you take that last play out, they only allowed 253 yards of offense. Blaine Gabbert, the quarterback, who, yeah, he did struggle the week before. He only threw for 53 yards the week prior to coming to Indy. He threw for 155 yards in the game yesterday, 80 of which in that final play. So the defense, for 59 minutes of the game, played really, really well. It just cost them. They have to bite it at the end, and they lose. I'm getting myself all worked up. But overall, the 3-4 defense has been working. It was terrible in Chicago, although they forced a turnover for a touchdown. In the last 2 weeks, though, at home, they've been very, very good. Very, very good. So you have to be happy about that. They're getting some good play from guys that maybe you didn't expect. Jarrell Freeman, the linebacker who spent a couple years in the CFLs, looked really good. I feel like Gerard Powers has looked very good so far. And the defensive line, they've been okay. I thought Drake Nevis had a very fine game yesterday. Made a couple big hits up in the line of scrimmage, so he played very well. Now let's turn to something else that's really, really bit the Colts hard last year and the previous year, and that's injuries, and it's coming back to rear its head once again this year. It was announced today that Austin Collie, the wide receiver, is going to be out for the season. He tore his patellar tendon ligament, so he's going to be out for the year, even after all of his concussions. Now his knee is going to hold him out, which is strange, I know. Vontae Davis left the game with an injury. Justin King left the game with an injury. Those 2 cornerbacks were the reason why Sergio Brown was in the game at the end. You can't blame this all on Sergio Brown, but he is the backup to the backup in that situation. So, if you're going to select a guy that you think you have a shot to beat deep, he's going to be the guy you're going to look at if you're the opposition. So those 2 guys get nicked up. Samson Sattelli for the second straight game leaves with a knee injury, so that's going to be something you have to look out for because, Mike McGlynn has to shift over to center once again. Trey Essex comes in to play guard. That's a tricky situation. You may want to, you get the bye week this week before you play Green Bay. That could maybe help some of these guys get rested up. But at the same token, you have your bye week in week 4, so now you're going to have to be playing games after that for 13 consecutive weeks, and you don't get that bye week. So maybe you get lucky, you get these guys healthy now, and they can sustain for the rest of the season, but having the early bye week, sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you. And then 2 other guys that that the Colts are going to need if they're going to, be consistent on defense and play well the rest of the season. That's Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. Freeney set out yesterday. He's still, working on that ankle injury. And Robert Mathis got nicked up. He did play, but he got nicked. And, the bye week could help him. He could be all right. He's shown over the years that he's pretty good at staying healthy through long seasons. So I think Mathis will be all right. But overall, there's a lot of injury issues right now for the Colts that you're going to have to get worked out. Overall, my thoughts on the game were, obviously, if you take out that last play, the Colts should win that game. And they would have won that game, obviously, took out that last play. But the defense, you just can't allow that to happen. You just cannot allow that to happen. But I still place a little bit of that blame on the offense. You have to score more points than 3 points in the second half at home if you're going to win that game. I know that they moved the ball. I know they had over 400 yards of total offense. But you got to hang points on the board. Vinatieri missed a field goal. Could have made the difference in the game if he makes that. He hasn't looked too good inside of 40 yards this year, so that's something you might have to keep track of as well. But right now, that's a game that the Colts have to win if you're going to progress and become a winning team. They didn't get it done. Now they have the bye week, and then coming in the following week, the Green Bay Packers, and a very, very explosive offense. Their defense has not been that good, although they do cause some turnovers. So we'll see how that game goes. And